So for the clinical examination of the mouth, you obviously, it's really important to examine the gums of the mouth for any ulcers or signs of trauma or discoloration. You can also use the gums to do your CRT check, and if they're pigmented, then you can do that on the vulva. So when you're examining the mouth of a sheep, be very careful, because they're obviously obligate nasal breathers, so you don't want to obscure their breathing by lifting the upper lip too much. So you're looking at the buccal mucous membranes, looking at the hard palate, and making sure you can see all of it, looking at the tongue itself and making sure the tongue is moving as you're expecting, and looking at underneath the tongue as well. So like that, to move it to one side and then move it to the other side. You have to be very careful when you're examining the mouth of a sheep, because their teeth are really sharp. Yeah, so move it to the other side and look at underneath the tongue and looking at the tongue itself. Also, when you're examining the mouth and the nose, you want to smell any odours that might be coming off. And then you move on to examining the teeth. So the incisors are relatively easy to examine, so you can get an idea of age. So this wether has two adult teeth, and the rest are deciduous teeth. Examining the cheek teeth of a sheep is much more difficult. So you can carry out palpation. So you palpate the teeth through the gums, both the upper arcade and the lower arcade. Maybe get them to open their mouths to feel the lower arcade properly. Do that on both sides. Having a really good feel. And you're also palpating the jaw to see if there's any lumps or bumps, signs of abscesses or trauma, and palpating the bone above the upper arcade as well on the maxilla. So to do a thorough clinical examination of the cheek teeth, you might want to use a gag, and some people will just use a 30mm syringe with some vet wrap round stuck into the side of the mouth between one set of cheek teeth, so that you can use a torch to examine the other set of cheek teeth. Sometimes it requires two people to do this, so you might want some assistance. There are other gags that you can get made as well, but they're not very easily commercially available. But very often sheep resent having their mouths examined quite considerably. So to examine the cheek teeth thoroughly, you very often need to sedate the animal or even give them a general anaesthetic.